audio distortions on, but if you're gonna put it on, it has to be for the whole video.
Oh, that's dumb.
So I might have to buy the pro version for $40.
That's yay!
That's not as much as Sony bag is. Just 700. I tried torrents, but then
I tried torrenting it as well when I got home today.
Yeah, I used the updated Pirate Bay one, and it must not be updated because
Yeah.
you get to a point that it says you have to patch the file under a certain folder.
There was a
and
guy.
The folder didn't exist online.
There was a guy who put in the comments of one that how to fix it, but I couldn't download it. Like I clicked it a bunch, and it just wouldn't download.
Yeah,
So I think
I got the whole downloader. I have the file and everything.
yeah.
And then you get to this point that you have to patch the file, and I've seen videos and I saw the Reddit post and the follow me that it gives you when you download the software, and all of them say just put it in this file, and I didn't have the file.
Yeah. How's that? Okay.
So,
You weren't there tonight?
what?
You weren't there?
Where?
Should've skipped work.
Oh, at the Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty pointless.
Yeah, it was actually really pointless.
Yeah.
Basically, all the stuff we knew before is gonna cost a shit ton.
Is
Okay.
it
You gotta
$2 for
scooch
Grammys?
over like here.
Me?
No, Ibrahim.
Alright, I will, when everyone's here.
No, we're recording now.
No, we're not.
No,
Yes,
we
this
are.
is happening.
This is how it goes.
No.
Go
This
over
is
there.
the-
Go
Now,
over there.
now,
This is a raw.
Now.
This is the early
Now.
bird special.
now.
This is the early bird special.
Okay.
Okay, I got 51 minutes of recording time on this phone.
Nice. I hit an hour and 7 last time.
Okay, you gotta sit like right there,
Where?
like right on that.
Can you demonstrate where I'm supposed to sit by sitting there?
Right on that cushion.
I can't sit there now because you're sitting there.
You fucking cunt. Sit right there.
Where?
Okay, and then
Right here? A little more?
I mean like half your face is in the shot, so if you just sort of go like that a bit, like no, a bit over, like a tiny bit more. There you go. That's good.
Smidgen.
That's good. There you go. Now you can get the full eye view.
Smidgen. This new game's awesome. Oh, yeah.
How do you balance it? Double on your belly.
Double.
Did you hear us making Punky and Jessica laugh
No.
during the fucking thing, Ibrahim?
No.
Oh my god, we kept on making noises and Punky and Jessica were dying behind us. In the middle of the presentation, I opened up a drawer underneath the sink and I just took out this ratty old sponge and gave it to Mitchell.
Beautiful.
What the?
I downloaded Windows Movie Maker on my computer.
Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, the real.
That's beautiful.
I mean, if I just want to put like shit together, it's good enough.
This poor fella. This is a guy I bought the Sierra from. And after I bought the Sierra, I traded back to get the silver Jetta. And I smashed that silver Jetta. And then he sold the Sierra. Then he bought a Jetta. And then he smashed his Jetta. And now he just got another Jetta. He's just getting the shit end of the deal every time. Because the truck was originally like, I think he wanted like $4,000 for it, and then I got it for like $3,200, and then
He definitely did not get his money for it.
Wait,
yeah,
did you
and
trade?
he bought his Jetta for $4,500, so then I traded, and then he sold the truck for like $2,000.
The fuck? Poor man. How much did you buy the old Jetta for?
I traded for the truck.
For the truck, yeah. So we lost like $2,500.
Yeah. Trade. Let's go. wants to trade.
Who's that picture? Like, leave his hand in front of the camera.
Yeah. No, he's getting in his license plate. Because you gotta do it. You know, let people see your license plate. How do you get that?
I know, you post on fucking Facebook buy and sell. You think anyone's gonna try to fucking dox you? You have your Facebook account linked to it.
Or literally walk down the street, you can see anyone's license plate you want. It's not a secret thing that you have to hide.
I know.
You can't do not.
It's not
take
like
a
the
license
security.
plate.
It's not like the social security number.
No.
So what's the podcast gonna be called for tonight?
The Muhammad cast.
Wow.
Do you agree with this?
I don't you for you. That's what it's on there.
Do you agree with this?
I think it should be called.
Call it the Jesus cast, call it the Muhammad cast, I don't care. There's lots of people in Muhammad.
Okay. The Prophet cast.
Go ahead.
What did you do that thing in English about?
Name?
Yeah, like who'd you include?
Yeah.
I put what's his face? Charles Darwin.
Mm.
I put down
Muhammad.
no, I didn't actually.
Peace be upon him.
No, I
bad.
couldn't. I just couldn't.
No,
It's too emotional.
that's fair.
I
I would
put.
start to cry.
I wrote like like a paragraph about Adolf Hitler coming.
Yeah, I
He
heard
showed-
that.
That he showed up early because he was German. And then I wrote, as Adolf Hitler walked in, I looked over and saw a man with a very long beard talking to a German officer. It couldn't be Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh yeah, you were reading that out to Liam. I remember that.
I had Alex Jones and Obama.
Bob care.
I was gonna bring up like an abortion conversation and just watch him fight. And then I had Harold from Harold and Kumar come to watch.
And Harold Block come to watch.
Bill Cosby
Oh,
to make
yeah.
everyone nervous.
Yeah,
And
he
then
came in earlier, right?
I'm
He
sure
came late
Oh, okay.
I'm sure he.
after everyone had started drinking and eating.
I'm sure
Can you
that.
think of a more stressful situation?
No, that isn't. Like,
Alex Jones screaming while you guys eat food, and then Bill Cosby walks in.
Obama's trying to like peacefully
Oh,
present the
okay,
point.
Okay,
Alex Jones is like,
Hey,
no, you know,
Alex,
you know
Alex.
fucking nothing, Obama.
Alex, that's enough. Calm down.
Sit
Fucking
down.
everyone's eating and like yelling at each other, and Bill Cosby walks in and goes, "Hey guys,
How you guys doing? How's the food?
wow, you can hear from the other end of the room."
President-elect Trump last night, and I'm curious how you feel in terms of how assured
Listen to
you
the
are
Oz.
current trade deals that are
It was brief. It was I congratulated him for his victory. He expressed warmth towards Canada. I talked about how important the relationship
Hey, good morning.
has been.
What did
Come
Craig
here,
say?
boys.
Yo, man.
Come count the Oz.
What?
Come listen to the Oz.
What's the eyes?
Just come listen to the Oz.
No, you can't sit here. The seat is out of the camera
You
view.
can't see it there.
This is our splendid
Sit right
prime
there.
minister.
That I look forward to.
Well, can I sit there?
Because it's out of the
Out of
camera.
the camera.
You said listen to the us. Can I
You
just?
spoke with President-elect Trump last night, and I'm curious how you
Oh,
feel in terms
cool.
of
Is this
how
on?
assured
Yeah,
you are
it's been on the entire
of
time.
current trade deals that already exist. I'll say OC.
Our conversation last night was brief. It was I congratulated him for his victory. He expressed warmth towards Canada. I talked about how important the relationship is and has been, and that I look forward to continuing to work to promote Canadian interests and indeed opportunities for all as we move forward as two countries that have a lot to do together. It was a brief call, but
It's
a
the
strong
it's the
beginning
early
to
bird
what is going to be a
podcast.
constructive relationship. relationship.
Oh, like the before show, the pre-show.
This is the early.
So that's
the
like
early-
Beautiful.
It's
It
the
makes
early
you wonder
bird-
how he
It's
got
the
it.
early bird special.
Oh, so like
Punky said she would
our
vote for me.
subscribers that.
She said she would vote for the candidate I wanted.
Vote for the.
She said she would vote for Sheer for me.
Do it. Shout it out
That's
for
good.
share for you.
Yeah, she said she would.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
that
yeah.
her
So she just doesn't care.
own perspective on it, or
No, she said she just doesn't pay attention.
Vacation.
So you'll hear the.
Yeah, you'll definitely hear that. You could hear it from the other end of the road. Like
As you're driving
when you were
down.
approaching the
Yeah.
corner, we could hear it loudly.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh no! I just do it all the time like that.
that's sweet. How's that an oh no?
oh
Oh, shit, will be like, man.
Oh no.
Who's that red
Yeah,
ranger?
this red
in
ranger
the
going around, and all
jungle?
he hears, oh yeah! I saw John, and I was like, oh shit, he's gonna come out and beat the shit out of me. Like, why is your music so loud?
Sure.
Or he'd come out and start joining.
Dancing.
He definitely starts
So
singing
jam.
along, honestly. Like he knows like
So
all
we're,
the
we're
lyrics.
Punky and Jessica just dying back there.
I think so, yeah.
What are you doing? What you doing?
What are you doing?
What you doing? So what are we talking about today?
What's the plan?
What's the plan?
This was the man with the plan.
You gotta find a topic. So you gotta put it onto your laptop. You haven't done that
I'm gonna do it tonight. It'll be on YouTube by this morning.
by this morning.
By this morning.
I'll deal with this.
Are you
one
sure?
tonight as well.
As in like
By this
it
morning
takes-
or tomorrow morning?
8 a.m.
Like it takes a lot to upload those videos.
As in like 8 a.m.
It'll take a while. Like I'm assuming it will be up. If your laptop can stay awake.
Yeah, it might just die.
No, not die. Like just fall asleep.
Yeah, it gets pretty tired. I'll get a coffee before I leave.
Yeah, sure. You know what I mean, though, right?
Well, yeah, you can set the auto.
Just turn it to
Yeah,
never.
that's what I'm saying.
the auto.
I mean,
data
even if
off.
it goes to sleep, it won't stop
It
doing
still
anything.
uploads.
If you're uploading something.
Going to sleep means the
sure?
screen turns off.
Yeah, just like the screen turns off.
In some cases, mine I have to press the power button.
But yeah, but your computer's shit.
Well,
Is it
even
not?
if
No, it's not because it's not a flaw. It's
Even
just
if
part of
it's
the
when you
computer.
press
Yeah,
the power
It
button.
does. It's still on. Like if I've had
it's
times where
sleep.
I've like had music playing on it and the screen turns off, you can still hear the music playing.
Unless you just have it set to shut down.
What?
Maybe it just doesn't have a sleep feature. Yours.
Mine?
Yeah.
That's
I
just
don't know
who's
what it has.
dying.
It's just the computer that.
It probably just auto shuts down.
What?
Or just auto shutdowns.
No, what it does is it will go to sleep, but then there's the power button will flash,
Yeah.
and if you put it to sleep and you move the mouse, right, it'll go back on for you, right?
Yeah, that's what it does in my computer.
Yeah.
No,
so I
no,
can do
actually,
that.
I think I gotta click it.
That's what I do. Click the power button.
Yeah, but,
But
still
it will stop
sleep.
a video.
It'll stop it, but it won't close anything.
No, I won't close nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It won't pause it download.
What are you doing? Searching for a thing?
He's playing a game.
He's playing World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing Raid Shadow.
I haven't played Diablo yet.
Do we have a film and video person in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In English, and I got nothing except having designed the house.
Are you pro-life?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. When the
Okay.
baby becomes part of like what, you know what I'm saying? Like when the baby actually gains life, when it becomes a baby.
So are you pro-abortion or anti-abortion?
Generally, listen, honestly,
Do you think abortion should be banned?
I think we should have a good reason for it.
yeah, I think they
There's
should
good
have
reasoning behind it. and I
seriously
don't
good
see the
reason
issue.
for it.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's right.
if
I was looking for opposing views.
if
but-
you were,
Well,
so
that's
you
the
agree with
issue.
me?
Mm.
I
Because
mean,
there is a point where it's just a piece of steam, right?
yeah.
Well,
There's a
it comes down to when.
Yeah,
I think
so
after, I think
there's a
after
point-
6 months, it's actually alive. But
I'd
before
say
that,
earlier than that. But what I'm trying to
I
say
mean,
is,
even then, even before the 6 months, I wouldn't.
yeah,
allow
so
it.
that's when it becomes a human. It's not your choice anymore.
Well, there's something.
It shouldn't be your choice anymore. It's another human.
There's a debate with that. Like, someone said, so if you're driving down the street and you see someone walking in front of you, you have enough time to stop. Will you stop?
Would you stop?
Would you stop?
Of course.
Yeah. So
That's the moral thing to do.
you're driving down the street you're pretty sure you see someone in front of you. You're not 100% sure,
Would
but
you
you're,
stop?
you're
Yes.
quite sure you see someone. Would you stop?
Of course.
Yes. So,
I see what you're going with
Yeah.
that. Like, you don't know if it's human.
well, it has the potential to be
Yeah,
alive.
okay, I see what you
So, of course.
Like what Miss Hacker said that about abortion, that women should be able to choose what goes on their body.
Yeah, but it's 50-50.
Well,
Yeah,
at that
you can
point,
choose what
at
happens
that
to
point,
your
it's
body,
not part
but-
of your body. It's just in your body.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a different one.
it's
It's developing
It's
in your body,
separate.
but it's not.
So-
It doesn't belong.
it's
to
not
you.
it's not yours.
And this is also this is the father's child.
Yeah.
Oh, the fathers get no say.
Yeah,
and
you-
that's
yeah,
the
parents-
shitty part. That's what I'm
not
saying.
that.
Who's naming the podcast? Dude?
You already did. Named it Muhammad Cast.
No, it's the Prophet cast.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
It,
so
it
that's-
might change. I don't know.
It'll
Well, that was only
the last
the
name
worms.
for it.
the
The last name that said
The
for
worm
what is the
special.
title.
Yeah, the early bird special.
The
The
worm
early
special.
bird
Early
special.
bird
Yeah.
is the worm.
Cast.
Yeah. So if nobody's here like pro. What's it called?
Pro.
Pro-choice.
Pro-choice. Yeah. Anybody here pro-choice?
No. I mean, so by pro-choice, I think
yeah,
it'd be,
that's
I think it'd be like, I think it should be more pro-abortion in all cases and pro-choice because choice is more of a choice. But when
nice. What?
You said it should be more pro-abortion.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No,
I just don't, I don't like the way
you
that.
do.
What?
I do not think you actually know what you're trying
There's a
to
difference
do.
between saying pro-abortion and pro-choice.
Because
there are
I'm
pro-choice
pro-life.
people who are
I'm
like, I don't
pro-life.
like abortion, but it should be an option.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting at. Like,
What should be an option?
Oh, no, I'm not saying that's what I believe. I'm just saying
Oh,
there are
okay.
people that believe that they don't like abortion, but they do think it should be a choice. So they're pro-choice, but not
Well,
pro-abortion.
the one
problem is when
time-
you get
They're like
into-
you shouldn't get an
The
abortion.
problem is when you
but-
get into
I don't know.
unethical origins of the child. Like,
Well,
wait,
no, that's a sketchy one.
Yeah,
The-
that
the
one's
one
difficult for
time-
me because like that's not the child's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Or the mother's fault.
So
and
you're
and
saying
living
that-
with
Yeah,
that
that's the thing.
constant
It's not the child's
reminder.
fault, but it's also not the mother's fault. So
Living
what do
with
you do
that
with that?
reminder. So that's a hard one.
And then what if a woman rapes a man and gets pregnant? Then what?
Yeah, same thing.
Does the man
rare.
does the man get a say? Well, it's
rare,
rare,
but it still
does
happens.
would the
Yeah,
man
it
get a
does
say in that?
happen.
And then
Well,
the man
David,
can just,
no.
then the woman can
I
just go.
can say they won't
Yeah, they don't. They're just like, yeah, you owe me
should.
child support
What?
for the rest of his life.
because that's a society we live in.
well, I don't know what you're talking about. Should the dad have a choice, son? If the woman.
They
was
should,
pregnant?
but they won't in our society.
No.
It's like family courts. The woman
I
is
think the
always
mother
Yeah.
does have overall the strongest say in the matter. I think. Because I believe that the women generally put in more work
Well, yeah.
towards raising the child, and they're usually more attached to the child just because of the fact that the child spends 9 months. with
No,
them.
no, it's usually just because men go to work, and women have maternity leave.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, this doesn't matter. The woman is still putting in. Usually does put more in.
Well, I'm not pro fraternity leave. Or what is it?
Fraternity.
The men leave.
The
You're
frat.
talking
Or
about pro
fraternity.
fraternity.
Frat.
You're not pro.
Pat
Fraternity.
leave.
You don't think men should have?
I think it's,
Time off?
well, I just think it's stupid.
I don't think
Yeah,
it
I
is.
mean, if women should have it, men should have it. But
I think men should.
I don't really see a reason why you should take it. I don't see why two people need to be there with the baby.
Sam, it's not about just taking care of the child. It's about gaining an early relationship with your child
That is true.
because they do.
Just talk with them in the evening.
they forget their shoes.
Okay.
They
Babies
forget
forget all
they
that.
forget that time anyways.
No. If you're to say hello to them, yeah, they'll forget that. But the general presence of people,
Yeah.
that's how they learn languages.
I've just got more traditional views. Like, I think men should go to work.
Well, I do too. I think women are better at raising children than men in general.
Yeah,
So you
because
agree
that's
with
what
me?
they do. That's what they've been doing.
No, but I believe that they're biologically made for that more.
Yeah, well, they can feed them. We can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think mothers are great. They do a lot. So
But the fact is now men have no choice.
Yeah.
choice in what? Abortion?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the issue. If a woman wanted to abort a child, and it was like consensual sex, stuff like that, that's a big problem.
Yeah,
And if the man has no say,
the only circumstances would be like the rape cases. I think should have like a hearing or something. And if it has potential harm to the mother.
I get
No,
this
yeah.
thing about it, the constant reminder, and imagine being a rape child, but should you kill a child just over that? That's a real like ethical thing you have to think about. I don't have the answer for it. I couldn't even really begin to think about that. Yeah, I think men should go into work. I mean, I think in general men are more suited to work.
Yeah, more suited for physical labor.
Yeah.
Women are just better at.
Listen, I don't believe in that men and women are equal. I believe that they're equitable, like in the sense that women have their strong suits and men have their strong suits. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
People try to make them equal. It's like equal rights and stuff. Well, I mean equal, not
They're
equal rights.
Equal rights.
We're past that.
Equal
though.
rights. No, I'm talking about like
No, women.
just how people think.
Equal capability.
Men and women
We're
are.
past.
Yeah,
we're
it's not
past
equal
equal
capability.
rights.
Men
Yeah,
and
it's
women
what you're
are.
naturally more inclined to do,
Yeah, exactly.
right? You can't say someone's naturally more inclined to be a deer like those fellows over there, right?
Equal rights already exist.
Holy shit.
It's got 2 kids.
Looks like,
And like,
looks like two fawns.
and like the feminists, they'll complain about like patriarchy, but when it comes to where patriarchy actually exists, like in the Middle East, they won't like, turn an eye to it.
What's patriarchy?
It's like
It's this fake system that they make.
Well, no,
up.
it's not fake. It does exist, just not in the Western world.
Yeah,
What is it?
Whereas if
It's
the
like
men are in
men
control
are-
or not.
it's like a secret society
Major.
of white men pulling all the strings.
The patriarchy is that if the males have control.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, but they portray it as like this
Yeah.
behind the scenes
They-
that
they
makes all
portray it as,
cultural decisions. And
Like white
Yeah.
men are the
Yeah, I don't know.
devils.
it's like an underground
Ooh, I don't know what
basement
happened to my voice.
of
I
computers.
just went,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what happened in the Middle East there. Women were no before
No.
women. What?
Go ahead.
Well, the I can't remember her name. But a woman in the Middle East was the one who generally invented the base for university.
Yeah.
The word university comes from unified diversity, and she was actually in also the Arab world has had more female leaders than North American and I think South American world combined.
South America.
Maybe not South America.
Because I think it's like
I think it's been 7.
I think Central and South America are among the best places, are among like the place where the most women lead places.
What?
Like I think South America is one
Okay,
of the
maybe not
highest
South America.
proportions of.
I know North America 100%.
Yeah, North America.
Because has there been one woman
There has been
in power?
there's been I think a few female Mexican presidents, but they don't count because it's Mexico.
That's Central America, though.
No, that's North America.
That's North America.
Is it?
Yeah.
Central America.
Central America doesn't exist.
Central America is part of North America.
It's not.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's the little peninsula.
Yeah, I know that little
What I'm
middle
trying to
piece
say is
connecting
that
them.
7 women in, but this is a long time ago. So that's what I'm saying. What happened to the Middle East? Like they were.
Islamic extremism.
Oh, yeah. Maybe
That's what happened.
Abuse of power, like anywhere else.
Yeah.
Tends to always go to the same stuff, right?
That's, I think it's
And I
7.
feel like one of the, as you were saying, strong suits of men, greed is definitely a problem. Well, no, I'm not saying women don't have greed, but if you look in terms of power and money,
Well, generally,
it tends to
because
have a
we
lot
get-
more weight
We're
on
the
men
ones
than
who
women.
get money.
That's not necessarily why, though, because women can get a job too.
I know, but in like in
But
the
in
times,
terms of our
in the times when this
appreciation
mattered,
for,
in the times when this mattered, people will become wealthy by working their way up through society by working.
Statistically, men make more money than women.
that's because men have higher paying jobs.
Exactly, it's not a wage gap.
Yeah.
That's-
People
That-
say the
that's
wage
it.
gap,
See,
right?
that's
They take it.
interpretation of
They
They
it.
just
don't.
average
They don't
out the
take
wages
everyone
for both of
working
them.
minimum wage, everyone
Yeah.
working as a doctor. They take across the board. So they'll take
Yeah.
Bill Gates.
That's the problem
Right,
with
they'll take all of
interpretation of
these
evidence. Is you can
huge
take that.
multi-billionaires and put them into the same category as someone
You
working
could,
from
yeah,
home.
you could say that. Oh yeah, if you look at it, the evidence is that men generally make more than women. If you interpret it as, oh, men get paid more, no,
It's not
that's
that
the
we're getting
problem. Like,
paid
you need
more.
to look at it in the proper way.
I just like the whole pink tax thing. Like, yeah, it's not like women's products just happen to cost more to make.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's not like they're
The pink tax is like people will be like, oh, women's products cost more than men's products.
Women-
Yeah, because men's
women-
products don't cost enough.
women
Yeah,
care.
also they have to
women
buy a
care.
lot more products.
Women care
Yeah,
more
true.
about that type of shit.
Not only do women care about more about what they look like,
The
so they're
process also has
yeah.
a lot more too, right?
Yeah.
If you look
it
in
costs
terms
more to
of-
make. Women are buying more of it anyways. So.
Yeah, there's more out there for men. I mean,
We
for
just-
women.
I don't
just
know
buy
very
a
many
plaid.
guys who put makeup on. I'm just saying.
We just buy like
yeah.
we just buy a shitty plaid
Mhm.
shirt at Frenchies and that's clothes.
What?
We just buy like shitty plaid shirts at Frenchies.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go to Frenchies to buy our plaids,
Yeah.
right? Then you have like the
But
one
women need
designer
that
shit.
stuff.
Designer clothes.
But that's when I say like we'll have more of an inclination to be like cheap, keep the money, be a little more greedy and
Greedy,
hoard it.
yeah.
So that might be
Stingy.
why power always
Stingy.
seems to end up in the men's hand because
It's
they
so
end
weird
up
though
having that urge.
to think about it. What
Wow.
what is like money people who hoard money, what's the point? What's the value in it?
Because they get like the mentality that at some point everything's gonna come crashing.
But-
Yeah, they get the mentality that the more money you have, the more happy you'll be. I think.
There's one guy who was, I can't remember. I watched a video on it. But there was some guy who was like so wealthy, but he lived in like caveman conditions. Like he owned like a huge estate, but he wore like rags.
Oh yeah,
I think that's just
yeah.
modesty.
Modesty.
He wore like. Didn't he
There's
wear like
between
clothes made of
modesty and
garbage?
just
Like
actual
garbage,
bags?
and like Frankenstein other clothes together.
Yeah.
No, that's
That's
not
a
modesty.
statement.
And he-
then.
That's not
That's
modesty.
a statement.
That's just
then.
being an idiot.
It might be that he's kind of cheap.
He just wanted money.
He was like
Like literally, if you want to be modest, just wear normal clothes. Act like a normal person.
yeah.
And don't flaunt your money over people. Don't wear freaking rags. Like Mr. Krabs.
Mr.
Rag
Krabs.
boy.
Oh my gosh.
Modesty is a big thing now.
What is your guys' opinion on how like liberal most schools have become?
You know, like
Because nowadays, especially in universities, they're almost like completely like leftist.
Yeah.
It's very hard to like state a
Have an
right wing
opinion.
opinion on campus and not get in trouble for it.
I don't know
They're-
about Nova
they're-
Scotia because I've never.
They're afraid of other things. But like in major American universities, like,
Yeah,
you
it's
can get
really sad.
kicked out of school.
I
for
don't think
having
there should be any
conservative opinions.
direction.
I know you shouldn't be able to be attacked for what you're political.
It should be.
Very open.
It
And you
shouldn't be
shouldn't-
anyone's right to
And you shouldn't have
judge or take away someone's ability or future based on their beliefs.
and especially schools,
Right.
which are the ones who teach.
Would
these
you
things.
take away a gay person's right to go to school simply because he says being gay is okay?
Yeah.
Then why would
Yeah.
you take away the right of someone
I
who
do.
says being gay is not okay? Right? It's the opposite side for sure, but it's not necessarily wrong, right? If you disagree with one or disagree with the other, both of them are saying something that to themselves sounds sound,
free speech?
right? So to state that one person should be punished and the other shouldn't is illogical. If you wish to punish one, you must punish everyone equally across the board, or else you have an unjust system that is corrupted.
Yeah, which is what we have right now.
Corruption leads to nowhere, right? It leads to a system breaking
No,
down.
we're the perfect. We're the perfect.
Oh yeah, I
We're
forgot.
the perfect
I
society.
just like when people
Utopia,
say that we have
dystopia.
freedom of speech here in Canada. No,
Yeah.
we have pseudo freedom
And
of
when they
speech.
say this is a free country, no.
No,
I
it
mean,
really isn't.
Democracy
quite
is
is,
the
actually.
illusion
It's
of power
pretty-
to the
it's
people.
not a free country.
That's what
We don't have
democracy
freedom of
is,
speech.
right?
It's
If you
still
look
a
at
free
the
country.
origin of
We
it,
can
right,
still
the
do
core,
whatever we want.
democracy
No, we
100% was supposed to be for the people.
Yes, we can.
But the people elect a person who
When
has
you
his own
get into
political agenda.
technicalities, no.
He does
But
what
we
he
can
wants.
get
You don't
into
have
Well,
say.
because we're not
We can walk on the
actually
streets.
technically a
Yeah,
democracy.
what they mean by
We're a
a free country
democratic
means, like,
republic.
You
No.
can do things.
Yeah, we're a
you can
democratic
do most
That's
things.
not-
Yeah,
we
okay,
just-
yeah, we're
we
not a
just say
democratic.
democracy
Yeah.
because
We're not a democratic
You know what I mean?
society.
I say America's
Right.
We're a democratic
Yeah,
republic.
America.
Republic,
That's
yes.
a different thing.
They're also
Yes.
a free country.
Democratic republic.
I
What?
agree.
They're also a free
But
country.
they're one
I
of the
say
few.
they're the only.
They're one of the
true
few
free
countries that
country,
still
I'd say.
have like most of the freedom still left. Like
Yeah, but
They're
what I'm saying,
protected by
Canada
their
is a free
amendment.
country.
They're protected by.
Canada-
their
we're
amendment.
we're a free
Yes, it is
country
a
to
free
the
country.
extent of
Because
being
you can do anything you want.
You can't.
Not
Sure, you
everyone.
can't say specific things, but you can
You
get
can't-
it. You can get it. You have the right to a job. You know,
We're a
right to
sway
house,
of
you-
we're a
you
sway
can
of
have
Well,
free
question-
country.
ownership,
what-
all that stuff.
I don't know if I call it a free country if you can't say anything you want.
Oh come on, it's
Well,
still
freedom-
That's a basic
you
right, I
can-
think.
That's
Freedom
Freedom
isn't
of
doing
speech.
something and not getting punished. It's being able to do what you want, right? Now that doesn't mean there's never
Or if I want to
consequences.
say something and the government's
You could
going to
argue
punish me for
Well, then you could say it's not a free country because if you say something that
Exactly,
is
that's what I'm saying, it's not a
accepted
free country.
gratefully and people praise you for it, that's a
Define
positive
a free
consequence.
country though.
So
because-
any way you look at it, everything always has a consequence, either positive or negative. It's very
Okay,
rare the cases
judicial
where just,
consequence.
but even at that, you're
Driving
making the
past
risk
the
of
speed limit.
whatever society accepts, right?
Mitchell,
That's dangerous.
Mitchell, driving past the speed limit.
What?
What's the difference between that and limiting speech?
Because one is dangerous.
Yeah, one's dangerous.
Speech can be dangerous.
How?
Speech can
Because it
influence a
lead
lot of
to-
people, right?
Me,
You know-
Miss, me,
You know that saying?
No,
words
okay,
where-
no. Okay, listen. The
This
difference
is-
between that is
me misgendering
what
someone.
someone does as a result of someone saying something would be up to their own discretion, whereas somebody getting hit by a speeding car isn't up to their
You
discretion.
can get hit by a non-speeding car. It doesn't make much of a difference.
Okay, well,
But
either
that's
way,
what
it's not
speeding
up to
laws
it's not
are
up to the recipient of the car's discretion. The recipient of the blow. It's not up to their discretion whether or not they got hit.
Yeah.
The same with a person walking up and yelling something that is.
Yeah, but that
hateful.
that reasoning is flawed
But that's
completely
not
because if you
danger.
get hit by a car going at 30 kilometers an hour, you will still end up in the hospital with multiple broken bones.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
the damage is
Even
still
if the
very
speed limit's
severe.
50.
It will take you so long to
So
get.
should
What do you think?
Yeah.
And
I'm
that's
saying?
at 30, right?
What do you think I'm saying?
What do you
No, no. What I'm trying
Right.
to say is
In
that
town, the speed
No,
limit
it's
is
not
double
your
that.
choice to.
What
Once
do
you
you
go to
think I'm
40,
saying?
once you go to 40, if you're hitting someone at 40 with the velocity of your car, the odds are that it'll be
What do you
terminal
think
for the
Mitchell's
person.
What do you
saying?
think I'm saying?
You're saying that they're there, to stop or prevent death, right? However, if you were to look at
To
that,
prevent
right,
danger.
To
but it
limit.
doesn't prevent. Limit, perhaps, but not
Speed
prevent.
limits are
Yeah,
in
it limits.
place.
Limit, but not prevent.
No, they're not trying to prevent it. Of course you can't prevent
Yeah,
it.
you
Someone
You
jumps
can't
out.
stop it
No,
if someone decides that
That
it
is
doesn't
the
change
goal
anything.
of it, to prevent danger
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, if
The
it's
limit-
preventing, then I agree. But
or limit.
I don't know. It's like you're not stopping it. You're minimizing.
But okay,
It's
what I
like,
was trying to say
speech is not
there is-
dangerous,
if you walk down to somebody, yell something hateful, it's not their choice that they're.
but they're not in
receiving these words.
danger.
But it's a natural human inclination to react to that. So if
Like,
someone
and
if
do
someone
what?
yells at if you very like how would you say intimidating?
Yeah, sure.
You punch them.
Well, then you've committed the assault.
In-
you put this.
That's
In
that's
Quebec,
the problem.
Holy
You're saying the
Marois
person that's
went into
yelling at
power,
somebody
right?
is not in
Now,
violation.
that is
she
not a natural
saying,
reflex.
that
Are you
Muslims
kidding me?
didn't
If
belong.
I
People shouldn't
misgender
wear
someone-
hijab. This
What?
and that.
If I
So the
misgender,
repercussions.
No. If somebody
of
yells
that
in my
action, I'm
face
not
and
talking
backs
about
me up to a
The
corner,
repercussions
my
of
tail's
that
going between my
was that the
legs.
society reacted, right?
But
You
that
had people
would
who
be
started
threat.
going out after
That's
these people who had
threatening, yeah.
veils and stuff like
Yes, I'm
that.
talking
So
about.
if you're stating that words don't
we're
affect
trying to
anything,
talk here.
yeah, you guys can talk. I'm talking
No,
about
that's
someone
not-
else.
No, I'm not saying words don't
I'm
affect
saying
anything.
misgendering someone.
But that's the reasoning behind it's once again prevention
You want to be called
of
he?
these actions, these extremes from
Oh
happening.
no, I don't agree
No,
with that.
you want to be
Which
called
is why they'll
he.
say, you shouldn't
and I
have
call
these-
you he.
I mean, I guess, but like
No,
the
I
fact
don't-
that
I
you
don't
hitting
think
someone with a
that's-
car is
no.
almost.
I'm not saying they're on
always
par.
I'm not
wrong.
saying that's why it's not a free
I'm not saying they're
country.
on par, but what they're trying to do is minimize
I'm doing
in
so.
both
I'm not putting
situations.
you in any danger
That's
by
the
saying.
only
The
way
minute you
they're
give
like,
the minute you give anybody
Exactly.
But I'd
the
still
right
argue that's a free
to
country.
restrict
You have no
anybody's speech,
inclination to hit
like,
me or
you give
cause
that to
any
the
danger.
wrong
It's not a
hands.
dangerous
if that gets
situation.
into the wrong hands.
Well, that's why you can always. It takes such a long
There's-
process to pass a bill, right? A
What
law.
about China?
Yeah.
to
Spitting on the
restrict
street.
anything, and
I
usually
guess
it can be
China's not a
revoked
free
really
That's
quickly,
Singapore.
right? You can pass a bill, and then the
I
bill
know,
gets
it's
retracted,
China too.
It's Singapore.
right? You
And
redact.
Japan.
So are you
No,
pro
it's just
or
Singapore. Singapore, you get 50
anti-freedom
lashes
of speech?
for spitting on the street.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Japan too.
I'm saying
In Japan,
freedom of
it's
speech.
very-
I'm not
they're
necessarily
very,
saying
like top
pro,
on etiquette.
I don't know. I
complete
don't think
freedom of
they
speech,
give you 50
because then that
What I'm
comes
saying
down
is,
to you can have a
I'm
lot
still
of
saying
radical
Canada's a free country, and I'll
situations that
defend that.
like are
Because
created
I
from
can-
that, right?
Like
I
what?
can jump in my car that
Like
I
a
own,
political leader
I can go down
preaching
the
that a
street
certain sect of
at-
society
at
should not
any
exist.
time.
Well, like,
Set-
do you have
set
any
by me by
problem
law,
with
go
the
into a
United
store,
States?
buy whatever I want within
speech
the
laws?
legal age limit,
I don't know the United States speech law.
and leave
Well,
and go back to my home
Basically,
that I
freedom
own.
of speech.
That's
You can
a-
say
that's a
whatever
free
you want,
country.
but threats are still illegal.
In some Middle Eastern
Harassment
countries,
still.
for
Yeah,
example,
you can't make threats. I believe
Women
there's certain.
used to not be
I
able
think this
to
would
drive.
count as a threat.
That's
but
not a free country.
I think it's more specific. You can't.
In some places,
You cannot.
Isolating a
It is.
group.
It is illegal to say I am going to
Buy alcohol,
assassinate the
you can't
president
do
of the
it.
United States.
I think isolating any group and stating that you wish for harm to come to a specific group and preaching this as a
But
mass
that would be a threat.
would be wrong.
It's a threat.
That's not
Well,
a
it's
threat.
not a direct
Threat.
threat.
Not a
I
direct
don't know if it's a
threat.
threat if you say I want X to happen.
Exactly. That's the issue I have with it, right? You can have a political leader who can come into power, removed from the country or so and so or this sect or that sect, right? It ends up creating inner turmoil within the country, right? Because then you're turning people against people. And this has happened time and time again, right?
Do you think that should be illegal?
I think that should be at least restricted, right? You should reduce the amount that can be said, especially not in higher
Well,
power.
which would be by
So do you
creating a
think
law.
that do you think that people should not have full freedom of speech? I shouldn't be able to walk up to someone and say the N-word to their face.
The N-word's completely different. Because that one comes down to historical context and everything. It can be used and interpreted in many different ways.
Yeah.
But if you were to come to someone, right, and you say, I believe that all Native Americans should be slaughtered,
Mhm.
right, and you're not talking jokingly, you're talking serious here. And you look at them and you go in front of everyone and you're saying, the Native people, and you start putting a bunch of, different facts down. You're saying they affect this, they affect that, they should be taken out because it would help with this, it would help with economic growth and all the rest. If you start doing stuff like that, which you're actually putting the intent to eradicate a sect, or get rid of a sect, or remove a sect, or harm a sect simply for your own agenda, I feel like that
or
should be
even
restricted
stating that
100%.
a certain.
You-
Well, wouldn't
No,
freedom,
wait.
wouldn't
Wait,
the
wait,
freedom
wait.
of speech also counteract that? Because if somebody's saying, "Oh, I want Native Americans to be killed," somebody could just as easily say, bring up the actual.
The freedom of
Like
speech
the
law
real-
states that you have the freedom to say whatever you want until it impedes on other people's rights.
Right.
Right to security, right? right to, I don't know, there's a lot.
I don't
of
think it's a right to security if
You
you say
have
I
the
want
right-
X to occur.
You have the right
Yeah.
to feel secure in
I'd say
your
I'd say that
country,
could be
right?
argued.
How's it
You
a
have the right
violation of
to
someone's
go to
rights if you
sleep.
say I want X to occur?
Because
if
they could feel
they belong
insecure.
to X group that you said
And now
you want
their
X
whole
to happen
decision
to.
making has to
Yeah.
change.
Change
Take,
it to.
take
Go
that.
to the natives, right? You say you want the natives to be removed from the country, right? If you're a native,
You're going to be a little
that creates
nervous,
concern.
Yeah. That's
Concern, that means you're no longer feeling safe in your community, in your country, right? So you're removing people's freedoms, you're impeding on other people's rights
I think
by
it's a threat.
reinforcing that one. That's why in the Freedom of Speech Act, if you read it, it does state that you have the freedom to say what you want until it impedes on other people's rights. Because if it did not state this,
Yeah, I know that.
then you'd have a situation where it contradicts other rights,
Yeah, I know
which is
that.
why it is already in place that you are not allowed to say, for example, destroy an entire group, because now you're impeding on their rights. You are not allowed to state that you want, some, nuclear bomb to blow up in the middle of, I don't know, a camp somewhere. I don't know,
You
whatever.
just talked about
So
the
it's-
laws that already exist.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Which is
if
why
you
I'm telling
would
you that
change
you
anything.
don't have full freedom of
No,
speech.
I
as it
would
is.
get rid of the gender thing, definitely.
You guys are saying
I'm
that
saying, like,
do you
the
believe in
states.
full freedom of speech,
Well,
but you guys are
that's
seeing
not-
it as
To an extent, that isn't freedom of speech in that point, because it's impeding on someone else's right. Full freedom of speech, you can say whatever you want. Obviously, that can go pretty shitty pretty quickly.
for example.
I mean, you just provided a great example.
I'm talking about the United States as is.
But I'm
I
still
don't think
I'm,
anything should be changed
I'm
there.
still
They have it
I'm
figured
still
out.
defending the thing that Canada is a free country.
The freedom of speech laws in Canada are
You
not
have
bad at all.
freedom in Canada.
Right?
We don't have freedom of speech.
Okay.
You can get arrested.
Pseudo freedom of speech.
General
Freedom.
of speech.
If you want to say freedom, relatively speaking, then I'll agree.
It's just like saying you don't have the complete freedom to walk
Right. If you want to say freedom, relatively speaking, I'll
because
agree.
you can walk on something that would be legal, like I don't know,
Restricted to
Walk
areas
into
or
Yeah,
something like that.
restricted
Walk into Area
areas
51.
or walk into on people's graves.
It's not
badly.
illegal.
I think
That's not
defacing a
illegal.
grave is probably illegal.
It is. I think defacing a grave is illegal.
But what I'm saying
But
is,
walking on a grave
with that
isn't.
argument, you could say that no country is
It's free. I understand his perspective on that.
I do understand that.
So I'm still defending the thing that
To
Canada
most
is a free
extents,
country.
Canada is a free
Relatively
country.
speaking, I'll
Yeah.
agree with.
Well,
I think
then you'd have to,
relatively
what country would you see as being free?
I mean,
America.
it's not completely free. It
it's
has.
not.
There's
Well,
a
not-
lot
not
of
complete-
restrictions
not
and
completely.
laws restricting
Well,
other things.
Alright, well,
you
when
just said Canada's not a free country because they don't have complete freedom, because freedom of speech. So Canada is also not a.
The Americas have restrictions to speech as well. It's not like they have a completely free and liberal society.
That's not.
right?
Oh, okay. Maybe I Yeah, I think you're misunderstanding what I'm trying to say.
You said not completely though.
You going?
Au revoir.
Already?
Yeah, it's bedtime.
You just go out here.
It's bedtime.
What time is it?
Freaking sissy. Going to sleep at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's almost 10:30.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let's finish this conversation and wrap her up.
I perhaps didn't explain what I meant. Well enough.
Oh my foot!
I think we just
I just say keep it going. Discussion does.
someone move. As far as the best freedom we can have, I think America seems to be doing the best. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But are you looking at it as just freedoms or freedoms and the repercussions of said freedoms?
Liam, you can move here if you want.
Because in terms of the repercussions of
You're
having
international.
more freedom, right, and more of a liberal society allowing people to do whatever they wish, you're also going to end up with more negative consequences because of that.
Well, then I guess I would suppose. Okay, so when I say legal or freedom, I mean like legal freedoms, not just like freedom.
Not anarchy.
Well, okay.
Because anarchy
So
is
can I ask you
complete
something?
freedom.
Mitchell? So do you disagree with me saying that Canada is a free country? Generally speaking.
Generally speaking, Canada is a free
Because
country. You can
Yeah,
do
if
whatever.
you're thinking
But
of
so is
complete
America.
freedom, that would
America's
just be
in
an
that
anarchy,
same-
and we're not an anarchy.
They just have a little bit more freedom
They have more freedom
in terms of
form-
speech, but they
in
may have
terms of
restrictions in
speech
other
and
places.
things you can purchase, because you can buy more guns.
Yeah, but they may in some other place that we don't know, but they may have more of a restrictions compared to us.
Well, they do. They have different restrictions. You can't buy Kinder Eggs there. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they
Really?
changed it.
There's no way.
No, you can't buy Kinder Eggs 'cause it's like the chocolate and kid might bite into a choke on the toy inside or whatever.
Okay, so
American-
you can,
American-
you're saying
I don't
you're
know
going
how
with
much
this
I
though?
I don't
Is
know.
that it may balance
It's pretty
it out.
stupid.
is
It's
that
it's a generally pretty stupid law, just like Canada.
listen,
has
freedom of
some
speech
pretty
is a
stupid
very
laws.
big topic, and it's talked about a lot. That's why it has so much publicity. But again, in America, they have a lot of things that are restricting compared to us.
Like?
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm not, but I'm just saying. I think,
The U.S. just has some strange,
I think both of
strange
us-
laws.
including like
Most
us
of
in
its laws
America
are on the state level.
are
Though.
both.
Yeah, all of like the weird laws are state.
Like there's
laws.
some ones on like what? Why?
Like, for example, non-free countries would be like
Saudi Arabia, Russia,
China.
China,
North Korea.
North Korea,
Monarchies, basically. Monarchies and dictatorships.
UAE.
UAE definitely. Like basically all of Africa.
Yeah.
All of Africa, most of Asia, apart
Yeah.
from like East Asia with like Japan.
I don't know.
South
My
Korea.
question would be: is it really bad if you're raised in a society where you don't experience, for example, if you look at a democracy, right? Whereas you're not necessarily told you can't do certain things, right? You're told you can't do like blasphemous things. I don't know, like defacing property or murder or stuff like that. Things that are logical
Say
in common
murder?
sense. Murder. Let's say kill.
No bartering on this property.
Yeah, there you go.
That's 25.
But if you weren't raised with those laws, right? If you were raised with women aren't allowed to get a job or women aren't allowed to drive, would it really, in your perspective, be bad at that point? Because you're raised with it, so you don't really see an alternative to the circumstance and
Are you
situation.
on that side? Are you on the side of that? Or are you just asking?
No, I'm not. I'm asking your opinion on it. I don't believe anyone should have restrictions placed on them to that extent.
Okay.
Like restricting, if
I
you can
agree.
harm somebody, I understand that. But
Yeah.
restricting if someone can drive, I don't get that at all.
Doesn't make any sense.
But anyways,
But I just want to go
my-
back. I just want to go back to this saying something and feeling insecure. I want to go back to 9/11, for example.
Feeling
Not during
insecure,
9 what?
What are you gonna feeling? Oh, okay.
Okay,
never mind.
so 9/11, women in hijab.
Yeah.
Like they almost couldn't wear them anymore, and there's lots of stories of women who had to take them off because if they were to go out, they'd get beaten or something like that. And I know that honestly 9/11 was a terrorist attack. It's not freedom. It's not protecting speech. But I'm saying, if you say something that may make someone feel insecure, which may impede on their sense of security, which they have a right to.
and they have to change other rights, right? For
Yeah.
example, the freedom of expressing oneself, they'd
Mm.
have to change that. Freedom to one's own beliefs, they'd have to change that. So by not limiting one's expression, you are causing other people to have to change their own.
And you could say that, yeah, it's their problem whether they feel like that or not. But I would say it's just natural to feel that way.
Well, yeah.
Well, if you're ostracized by society for believing in what you believe in, of course you're naturally going to tend to want to change.
I
But,
think,
but
but the main
beforehand, Muslims were generally accepted, right?
it was just
It was like
the
any
main-
other end. If you said a Muslim or a Christian, it wouldn't change anything.
Because
right? You were a person.
Muhammad Ali or
you just go Muslim. Oh, that's different.
Yeah, Muslim. Now people are like, "What? You're a Muslim?"
yeah.
And it makes such a big impact when you just say that word.
Well, I think the main reason behind when you brought up 9/11 as an example, that wasn't really that was because the people, the biggest majority of people after 9/11 happened were so shocked by it they just wanted to blame someone on it.
Yeah,
They
that's
blamed
that's
Islam.
a natural thing
Just
because
have a rewind of
Yeah,
that for
it's-
1 second. The biggest mass majority.
because when you talk in that perspective, when you for example, if you're home alone, wow,
Ooh, Home Alone water
and you
tower.
don't or you see this right. Obviously, you want and you're angry. You want to project that outward.
So you just go.
So you go, oh, Muslims, Muslim, freaking Islam. Then you go,
Go on the street and punch someone or an Israel.
yeah, oh my god. But yeah, that's horrible. I don't know where we're going with it.
What are we even going at? I'm
I'm
pretty sure
just
we all
saying-
agree on this.
Now, what's your perspective on 9/11 and why an event like that would have occurred?
I can see the strings. I'm joking.
But if you're looking at it, right, a terrorist attack of that magnitude, yeah, it would reinforce
How many people died?
terror
3,000.
in the hearts of the American people and reinforce, that group's belief. But what did they really gain? Which organization was it who did it?
Al Qaeda.
Yeah, kind
And you know what's funny
Al-Qaeda?
about it? When the Soviet Union
What?
went to war with Afghanistan, the U.S. gave Al Qaeda $4 billion.
Which
Well,
is what I
the
don't
U-
understand because
US
terrorist
funded ISIS.
organizations, for the
I
majority,
did the research on that.
no, the
US
majority of terrorist organizations are funded by the U.S.
Mhm.
So then why would the terrorist organization attack the Twin Towers in the United States, their major funder, with their own supplies? It would just cut their own
So they
supply
could
chain.
Because,
There is no
So they
logic.
could use the
Because the U.S. broke off relations with Al Qaeda and stopped giving them things and pretty much denounced them in like late or early 2000 because they found out they were doing some pretty shitty things. I know it's kind of
It's a
ironic.
terrorist organization.
I know.
What do you
I
expect?
know.
No, but-
beforehand
just
they
wait.
were funding Al Qaeda to fight the Soviet Union. They were fighting because they couldn't fight the Soviet Union.
I'd agree with you, but ISIS was also founded by
But-
the same people.
But let me say,
I know.
let
It
me
was
say this.
founded. It was founded by a co-founder of Al Qaeda.
all of these. No, the states. The states
No,
are the ones who are.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, these are Kickstart, right? They're the ones who are supplying.
Do you know what Kickstarter is?
No, like the website
It's like
Kickstarter.
It's like GoFundMe. It's like a fundraising website.
No,
like
but okay,
a
listen,
Kickstarter for
Sam,
ISIS.
Sam, the ironic thing
The
is,
U.S. donated $4 billion.
that's right, the ironic thing
Yeah,
is
in
that
weapons.
the U.S. complains about the Middle Eastern countries, right? I mean, that's just a general thing. But yet they fund, I know for a fact that they fund UAE with their spending of
They
weapons
fund
and stuff.
Saudi
But there's
Arabia.
a
and
huge
they fund
issue.
every
And if
rich
they were to
country.
With the
turn,
fact that
they'd be
they'll
like, oh my
turn
gosh, these
their
people are so
population's
horrible.
eyes saying,
They're the
this
ones who
society is horrible, look what they
fund
do to women, look how they treat their people, you know, they're always at war, they're fighting. But you look and you track back towards, you know, all the money came from to get these weapons, it comes to the states. You look at the origins of all of the chaos, it comes from wars which were funded by the states. You look at the degradation of society, that came once again from the battles caused by the states. So who are they to judge?
The main
If
thing.
you're the one who caused all of this turmoil, how the hell can you tell your population, the people who are listening and following you, that, yeah, they're the issue, not us?
Because they
You're
don't
the
know.
one who started it.
Because the population
Because-
doesn't know.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
population
thing
of
is-
idiots.
No,
The U.S. government
People
doesn't
who don't
disclose
look
it.
into
No,
it.
wait,
No,
wait.
the thing is,
no, it's
these
because
things were
the government-
declassified. These things.
What?
These were government things. You
But-
couldn't find that out.
No, but yeah,
There was no way to know.
I
That's
would
the
say
issue.
I would say that generally the population isn't idiots, but it's because they just
They're
the
uninformed.
government does they're uninformed.
The
And
government doesn't.
Why
tell
should
But
you.
they-
ignorance is
right
not
now,
ignorance is not an excuse.
Just
If
wait,
you're,
no,
if
just-
you're funding a
I'll say
terrorist
why it
group,
is.
why are you going to tell your population?
No, wait. I just want to say something. Is right now, let's say Canada's funding, I don't know, Yemen or whatever. I don't know, but we don't know about it, and why should we look into it? Because we have nothing to say that Canada is funding.
But I won't say
I'm
that
saying
Yemen is a
listen.
lower society than us. I will say that the stuff they're going through would be shitty, right? The circumstances are bad, but I won't degrade the society based on the circumstances of a war.
Where are you
Right.
going with this? What are you talking about?
I'm saying that in the U.S., they will state that these societies are lower class.
No,
These
they won't.
societies give less opportunity
Yes, they
to their people.
But,
These
that's not what I'm
societies are less than
That's
them,
irrelevant
and
to
they
what I just
caused
said.
it to go.
I'm saying how you said it's ignorance. There's no excuse for ignorance, and there is none. But there's things that you don't look into because there's no need
I
to look
understand that.
into
I understand that
It's
there's no
like,
need
you just
to
wanna-
look into
if
certain
it's something-
things, right?
Why would you? It's
I
like
understand
why would
what-
you
I agree
expect
with
that
what
I?
you're saying.
Why would you expect that I killed John F. Kennedy? You wouldn't.
Yeah, because there's no
But if it
evidence.
comes
supporting
There's
to a
it.
nothing.
big-
There's
if it-
nothing that look. There's nothing that you look at and go.
If
Yeah,
there was
I think
suspicion,
that he
then
killed John F.
ignorance
Kennedy.
If
is
it's a
not. is
big
not excuse.
organization, like for example, when ISIS first came up, right?
Mhm.
ISIS, no one understood where they came from, who they were. So what happened? People get curious, right? They want to know why they're
Yeah.
there, who got them there, how they got towards there, where they originated from, all of
Yeah.
it, right? So what do people do? They research naturally. This is what's caused it. If you have a single terrorist who says, I am a terrorist group, very little people are going to care about him because he can do little to nothing on his own. But if you have an organized action, right,
kill
these
50
people are the ones
people.
who draw the eyes of the media. These are the ones who draw the eyes of the people, right?
Yeah, and
in
people
doing
should
so,
look into it.
in doing so, people will look into it. If there's a battle going on in Yemen, yeah, naturally you'll say, oh, why is there a war in Yemen going on? I wonder. And then you'll look it up, randomly online, and you'll be like, oh, that's why, right? But you won't naturally just say, oh, yeah, they're horrible people, right? Because that has nothing to do with war. War isn't based on, if a person's good or bad. It's based on, outcomes of circumstances. And that's it.
I agree.
So for a government, right, in power of a country that is one of the world's superpowers,
Is the world's sole superpower.
sure, to state that these people got there on their own and they're Neanderthals and they're animals because of
Oh,
the way
yeah,
they
that's-
act,
No, I'm not agreeing with that.
and not
No
only
way.
not only to think that as the leader, but to preach it to your people.
Well, and not only
There's a lot of
the
issues
thing
there.
that bugs me is when Trump said, "Islam hates us."
Yeah, that's wonderful.
That's the thing that really makes me think.
Bring me anywhere from the Quran that says hate the Americans. Last I checked, the Americans weren't even a people when Islam came. So
Well,
Native Americans.
yeah, because we go into the Native Americans and been like, hey, what's up, homie? Right?
I mean, God should have known that.
Oh, and
existed.
last I checked, the current Americans came from Europe. Then last I checked, it also doesn't say hate Europeans, because if you look at the origins of Europeans, it comes from Egypt, right? But anyway,
But yeah, that's a horrible statement. Islam hates us because that's a horrible statement. Islam hates us because
yeah, there's
it's
nothing
like
to
the
back
same.
it.
What?
There's nothing to back it.
Well, yeah, it's just
Not only that, but
terrorism.
you're stating
it's the
that
war.
the
just
majority of the people.
like Sam Harris said, it's time we admit that we're not at a war with terrorism. We're at a war with Islam. What does that mean?
Last I checked, you have how many Muslims living in that society? So if you were really at war with that religion, you would be purging out those people.
Oh yeah, they want to be.
Oh, but I forgot. You're funding the terrorists who are claiming to be these people. My bad.
What my theory is that these terrorist organizations know. Of course, they. What did I say?
You said organizations.
They know
It's terrorist organisms.
There's the hide.
when they attack, they know that, and they actually, I think they want a response.
They do.
They
That's
want
why-
to be
yeah,
able to
that's
use
The
the weapons.
easiest way to control a society is through fear.
It's because you.
So why wouldn't you fund fear? Not only does war cause your people to be afraid and
Yeah, but do you
listen to you
think-
more, it
I-
also gives you so
I have
much
an honest
opportunity
question
for
you. I have
economic
an
growth.
honest question for you. Do you think that these people would do that at the cost of human lives?
Yes.
Who? Who are you talking about?
Government organizations.
Yes, of course.
You think?
The people in power care little to none about a couple
Yeah.
of individuals. We've
Just
seen
gotta-
that time and time again with wars, right? You'll send
That's true,
millions to their
actually.
death to gain, what? A couple of kilometers of land? And it'll
Yeah.
change little to nothing in terms of your standpoint globally, but you won that battle. Good on you.
That's pretty
Right?
scary.
Cost of people, human life.